Oh, good morning, ladies and germs. Oh, it's time. It's the time you've been waiting for. Remember this. Remember this old ditty? Ugh. Callaway, you were ahead of your time. It's Capitalism and Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. If you're watching lives, please say hello in the comments. It's the two things that never change, no matter what life throws at you, no matter how bad things get on the news. We've got two things to be thankful for. And it's capitalism and it's coffee. And if you're having a bad day, you can just remember, the socialists aren't going to give up their coffee. So do we really have anything to be scared of? Are they really going to come after capitalism when they know they can't have coffee without capitalism? The two things that make the world go round are coffee and capitalism. You really can't have one without the other. Capitalists are caffeinated up, and you need capitalism to ensure that you got coffee. Nobody's going out and roasting the beans because they care. So if you've got a cup or a mug or a glass or a chalice, a stein, a tankard, please join me now for the thing that makes everything better. It's going to be a great day, and this is the start to it. It's the simultaneous sip. Are you ready? Grab a cup, quick, and go. Oh, I can feel the caffeine. Turning on the capitalism. Good morning, Ron Lynch. Hello, Amanda Alpine. Hello, Awana. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Herb. Good to see all of you. If you're watching live, please chime in the comments. Okay, Callaway, that's enough. So, let's kick things off today with something that I like to call faking sense. Let's look at what's going on in the world and let's fake some sense out of it. First of all, I want to show you my favorite piece of fake news from the day. Now, first of all, before I show you this, I need to tell you what you're about to see here. What you're about to see here is a police officer who checks on another human being and asks if they're okay. That's what you're about to see here. Are you ready? All right, so let me go ahead and show you this right here. All right, so you're about to see a police officer check on another human being. You ready? Let's watch. Maybe. Come on. Come on. Come on, police officer. Hold on, let's reload this. So one more time. What you're about to see is a police officer check on another human being. There he goes. Hey, you okay? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, thanks for checking on me, man. Oh, yeah, I was just chatting with these guys over here, but, yep, everything's okay. I appreciate you checking on me, see? See, yep, all good here? Yep, thanks again for checking. See that? Let's watch one more time. Police officer. Hey, you okay, man? Yeah. I'm okay. So that's what you just saw here. That's what you just saw. A police officer checking on another human being, making sure they're okay. Now let's look at the news headline. Are we ready? Here it is. Flashing a white power sign at a Proud Boy and hugging him during a Black Lives Matter event. Now, this is the interesting thing about human brains, and there's a big lesson in this. The big lesson in this is our brains look for confirmation of what it's already looking for. So check this out. So let's flip this. Let me tell you instead, let's pretend that instead I had told you, watch this police officer flash a white power sign at a member of Black Lives Matter. Let's imagine that I just told you this. Now what do you see if we watch it again? So let's watch it again. Here it is. Look for the white power sign. Look for the white power sign at the man who's protesting for Black Lives Matter. Ready? Here it is. Here it is. Oh, right there. You see that white power sign right there? How dare that cop flash a white power sign at an innocent, peaceful protester? Now that's the fake news. Top story of the day. Here's the lesson. Our brains are made to make a decision, to basically create a filter, and then to look for something. So why is there more racism in the world? Is that because there's more racism, or is it because we're looking for it more often? I would submit to you that The reality is the fact that we're more upset about things like racism is a sign that there's less of it in the world. There's more outrage over it when it happens because as a society, we're less racist. As a society, we defend each other more than we ever have in history. Now, if that's what you're looking for, that's what you will find. If you are looking for things that conflict with the general story, you will find conspiracy theories. Excuse me. Oh, I think we need another simultaneous sip to clear that food that's in my throat. Here we go. Oh, that's better. All right. So our brains will find whatever it is they are primed for. There's actually great negotiations or persuasion because if you tell somebody what they're about to see or experience, and then they find a piece of evidence that supports that, our brains just unconsciously slip right into it. So if you were to pre-frame a negotiation and say, all right, so I think once I tell you this, you're really gonna see the benefit of this. Now their brain is looking for it. They're looking for the benefit. So you can actually pre-frame people to see what they want to see. So in the case of the white power sign, how you were pre-framed determined what you saw. So do you see what you really see? Or does the brain see what it wants to see? Here's a second example. My second favorite fake news story of the day is that the Ayn Rand Institute, Ayn Rand was a famous libertarian thought leader who wrote The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. That organization took PPP money. It's amazing that you could be against government and be dependent on it. That was the top story that was trending last night. Now, the truth is, the Ayn Rand Institute actually went out ahead of this. They said, hey, we're applying for PPP because when the government gives out free money, you should take it. I said this on the podcast. Capitalism.com took the PPP money too. Did we need it? No. Did any of my friends who run businesses need the PPP money? No. But you took it because sometimes the government does stupid things. Most of the time, they are disadvantaging you. Most of the time, they're taking from you. Most of the time, they're wasting money. But the once every 10-year event where the government has a program where it does something in your favor, you take the money every single time. Now, I had a nice little Twitter spat with somebody yesterday. They were saying, they were arguing about this being a bailout for the rich. I said, I paid the taxes in the first place. And the businesses didn't get the money, right? The employees of the business got the money because it was a grant for employees, not for the businesses themselves. If it wasn't used for employee pay, you had to pay it back. And businesses paid the taxes in the first place. Anyway, this is my kill shot when somebody wants to have a debate about something like this. When somebody is bringing up how little businesses pay in taxes, which is not true, or they want to talk about the rich people succeeding on the backs of poor people, which is not true, I simply say, hey, how many people do you employ? Why aren't you paying your fair share? Why aren't you doing your fair share? The fair share argument is so well used by those who are proponents of raising taxes, but it's very easily flipped when we talk about other good things that we would like how much tax did you pay last year? Why didn't you pay your fair share? Or when you say, how many people did you employ last year? Why aren't you doing your fair share? So once again, the brain always finds confirmation for what it is looking for. And if you can flip the argument, just watch their face. Next time you're in a conversation with somebody and they make such an argument like people should not have gotten PPP money when the government incentivized them to do it, simply flip the fair share argument on. Watch their face completely meld. Watch the skin fall off of their face. Hey, Adam Hinkle. Hey, Candy Cheryl. Hey, Gilberto. What's up, Paul? Hey, Zen. Hey, Paul. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Air Cooled. If that's your real name, I want to meet you. Hey, Alicia. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in, everybody. So now let's talk about making money. Oh, actually, before we do that, I want to tell you my goal for the day is to make sense of the entire world. So I'm having a great podcast. I'm really looking forward to a podcast that I'm recording today with my buddy Jesse Elder. Jesse Elder always has a unique opinion and perspective on the world. So I'm going to interview him on what the H is going on right now, what the H is actually happening in the world. Now, let me give you a filter through which to see the world that I think will explain a lot of what is going on. And I predict that you will be able to use this filter as a way to see the world moving forward. Here it is. Human beings always do what is most entertaining for them. This is almost always true, especially when you're out of survival mode. In survival mode, you do what it takes to survive. Beyond survival mode, you do what entertains you. So if we look at something like the news, and we see all of the fake news that is happening, why does fake news spread? Because it's entertaining. Because it confirms our existing suspicions. Because it's more fun to think that we're right than to question the story. It's easier and it's more fun. And if you look at presidential elections, look at the last presidents. Look at all of the previous elections and try to tell me one example of someone who lost, but they were the more entertaining candidate. We know what it looked like in the last election. What about before him? Who was more interesting, Barack Obama or John McCain? Who was more entertaining? Who was more interesting between the two? Who was more interesting or entertaining between George W. Bush and Al Gore? Who was more entertaining between Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr.? Who was more entertaining between Ronald Reagan and, was it Walter Mondale? Keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. I guess you might be able to make an argument about Barry Goldwater not fitting that rule. I wasn't alive for this, so you can tell me about that. Now, human beings will always prioritize what is most entertaining, which is also why, no matter what the polls say, I'm of the opinion that Biden doesn't stand a chance in November. Because most people, do you really think that all of the people who are upset about the state of the world are going to vote in the thing that is giving them justification? They vote out the person that is giving them justification for their worldview? It won't happen. They won't vote at all. When you are dependent on a person for your worldview, you need that person to stay there. This is also why policy-wise, we could get into a debate on Biden versus Trump, but I don't really know what either of them are running on this round. But I'm kind of secretly polling for Biden because, in a way, I'm curious what happens when all of the people who thinks that the world is going to hell in a handbasket no longer have someone to point to and say, this is why the world's messed up. What happens when they don't have their reason anymore? That would be entertaining for me, which is why I'm secretly pulling for Biden, because it would be really entertaining. We are always wired to do what is most entertaining. So you can actually evaluate our own lives and the way that you communicate with your customers and the way that you position yourself publicly, that the world always pays attention and rarely gives up what it finds most entertaining. It's true. Look for it. Look for it. Try and prove this one wrong. I'll take it. All right. This is my prediction for what is going to happen as a result of all of the chaos in the world. This is it. You're really going to like this. And once you see this, you will not be able to unsee this. I'll leave that cliffhanger there while I say hello to Maria. Hello to Nobe. Is it Nobe or Nobi? Hi, Krista. Good to see you. Hello, Celine. Oh, hello, Joshua Henderson. Good to see you. Hi, Charmaine. Great to have you back. Hey, Ashley. What's up? All right, so let's talk about this. Why hasn't Ron Paul won in the past? Because he was boring AF. Ron Paul was extremely boring. By the way, no public figure has impacted my life more than Ron Paul. But he was boring. And he's just a kooky old man now. That's why Rand didn't get any attention either. He's boring. All right, now let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Once you see how the world is going to operate moving forward, you won't be able to unsee this. Moving forward, as a result of this time, human beings are going to start creating their own social bubbles and their own thought bubbles and their own news bubbles. Now, here's what I mean. Human beings are going to start insulating themselves and go into more what you might call right now cult-like behavior, but it's actually going to be very logical. So what we see right now is we see the breaking of all things that are big. All big things are crumbling right now. Big things like trust in government, trust in police departments, trust in big institutions, trust in religions. The things that we put on a big stage in order to make life feel normal and regulated are now crumbling. And so what you're going to see now is you're going to see human beings go to where it is small. You're going to see where people are focused in their individual bubbles. Now, a bubble does not mean closed-minded. A bubble means insulated. It means protected. It means that people are going to have their circle, and they're not going to go outside of that circle as much as they did in the past. I mean, you even see people moving away from social media, right? So here's what that will look like. You will see almost like a religious setting start to percolate into a more micro scale. So, for example, if you look at religions, somebody who is not active in religion, somebody who doesn't have a background in religion, will say, aren't they all like talking about the same thing? Aren't they all after like the same things? I mean, can't we find like a web that ties all of this together? But a religious person will say, absolutely not. My religion is different in this way, and this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. That religion is wrong because of this, and 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 this. So when you're in the bubble, and actually, let's go further. In Christianity Christianity is then broken into bubbles. So I grew up in the Baptist church, for example, and I wrote a paper in high school that was on the contrasts between Catholicism and the Bible. Now, why did I do that? Because my bubble said that the Bible was the authority on truth, that it was the ultimate final source of truth. And so my bubble said, if anything conflicts with my rules of reality, then it must be wrong. So my bubble was the Baptist church. My bubble was my little insulated pocket of Christianity. Now, the Catholics were their own bubble. And they would say, I can't believe people think this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then you could break that down. There's North American Baptists and Southern Baptists. And I was in the North American Baptist church, and we would look at the Southern Baptists and be like, okay, do you know that women have to wear dresses and not pants, or whatever it was? They have to wear pants and not dresses? Or the opposite, I don't remember. So in the religion is a good way of seeing that we naturally go into these bubbles, that even if we identify with a big idea, we actually isolate ourselves into these pockets, into these bubbles. Well, over the last 20 to 40 years, the world has come online. We've first had television, then we had the internet. Now we can stream all over the place. The first people who streamed or did videos got real famous. I mean, look at Jenna Marbles, for example, who's super entertaining, but she's like one of the most famous YouTubers because she was one of the first YouTubers, and she's good at what she does. So when you're early to the mass game, you get a lot of mass attention. Now, it's not the case anymore. We more formalize around these pockets and around these bubbles. So here's what you're seeing. You are now seeing people being literally forced to not be in large groups, to not have the same mass group think. So we are now retreating into our homes. We're retreating into our families. And you're going to see a movement into more of that pocket isolated thought. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is actually a very interesting thing. This is a very interesting change in society, Because what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to end up seeing people who have very different lives than people who are in the same city as them. And I mean very different lives. I mean, you are going to be able to customize your life however you want. You will set the rules however you want. You'll set the rules for your family. You'll set the rules for your marriage. You'll set the rules for your business. And that is going to be the world over the next 20 to 40 years. And so what you can do now is start being very aware and very conscious of the thoughts you want to think, of the things that you want to see, of the beliefs that you want to have, of the media that you consume, because you're going to get to define the rules however it is that you want. So Maria says, it could be very good if we make a positive construction bubble. Well, here's the thing, Maria. Everyone will think that their bubble is positive or constructive. Everyone will think that. And you will think that someone else's bubble is not so positive, and you will judge their bubble. That's what's going to happen. And over time, and I'm talking 80, 100, 200 years, those bubbles will separate more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and they'll basically be new societies. And this is just the progression of the world, where now if you've got a big plot of land in Dallas, Texas, you can be completely removed from the rest of the world, and there can be a neighboring plot of land that is completely different than yours. In fact, everything will be in the cloud by then anyway, so they'll be creating their own realities in the cloud, and it will be completely different worlds, literally. And then some people will go to Mars and they'll start their own thing, and then we'll be talking about other planets, and that's where aliens come from. Okay, so that is what's going to happen in the world. This is the breaking of the system. We're now breaking into our isolated bubbles, and we're literally seeing facts differently than one another. Some of you saw a white power sign. Some of you saw, hey, are you okay? In the example that we used earlier. Get ready for a lot of that. You're going to look at the same thing and evaluate it differently based on what beliefs we are practicing on a regular basis. All right, let's talk about money. So there are two ways that I make money. I like to make things one time that profit for a long time. And I like to do things in the short term that provide really play money. And I'll tell you what those two things are for me. The way that I make money for the long term is I do things once. They're going to profit for a long time. And that's things like I start businesses and I write books. This is my book. It's called 12 Months to 1 Million. Actually, sales have been picking up over the last couple of weeks. It's the best piece of content I ever made. You can grab it on Amazon. By the way, as of last night, 81 reviews on 12 Months to 1 Million. This book was released 2 months ago. 81 reviews, 78% of the 81 reviews were 5 stars. What does that tell you? I'm not I'm not saying it. Other people are saying it, but a lot of people are saying that at this rate, it's going to be the most popular book of all time. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying it. Other people are saying it, but probably it's going to be the greatest book of all time. Probably. Frankly, I think that it has the potential of that. So I like to joke and say, besides the Bible, 12 Months to 1 Million is the best book of all time. I'm not saying it. Other people are saying it, but lots of people are saying it. I'm still working on my Trump impression. Sublime. So let's talk about the two ways of making money, long term, short term. And I'm going to talk about stocks here in a second, and stocks that I'm trading. And I'm going to differentiate two different types of investments. There is the long-term investment, which is you do things once and it's going to pay you over and over and over again. For me, that is dividend paying stock. So I like buying stocks that pay a dividend and holding them for a really long time because I like to do things once and to get paid over and over and over and over and over again. So when I talk about dividend paying stock, I'm talking about something for the long term. But there are also things that I do in the short term that I trade. It doesn't mean I think it's a good company. It doesn't mean that I think that it is going to, it's going to be in it for more than a month. It just means that I'm hoping to make a short-term profit. So I'm going to share with you what stocks I am trading and investing in right now. Before I do that, I am going to do something a little bit risky. I am going to post the link inside of the comments here. The link that I am posting in the comments right now, this is going over to on YouTube specifically. If you click that link, it'll bring you into the waiting room to come live with me, and I will interact with a couple of you. If you've got questions about business, investing, life, or aliens, if you want to go there. So if you click that link, it'll bring you here into the waiting room, and I will chat with one or two of you before we wrap today. So that link is over there on inside of the YouTube chat. Okay, so let me show you first what I think is going on in the market. So let me share my screen. All right, so check this out. This is a 6-month chart for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let me go ahead and refresh this. All right, so here's what I look for when I'm making short-term bets. And I am kind of an active trader. I really geek out on this stuff. But check this out. This is 6 months. Here's coronavirus, this big. And what we saw was the averages crossed each other here. That's what these lines are. And then boom, it just fell to 18,000. By the way, if you're a member of the 1%, you know that I was calling for the bottom of the market to be 18,000. And it went exactly there. And then what did I say was going to happen? We said that it would come back in almost the exact order that it went down. It went down from 30,000 to 27,000 to 24,000 to 21,000 to 18,000, which is exactly what happened, exactly what we said would happen. And now I said we're going to see the reverse. It's going to go from 18 to 21 to 24 to 27 and then back to where it was. And then we'll see. Then I think we might have some trouble, but too early to say. The technical charts show this. See, check this out. Where we are right now, and look how beautiful this is. Strong support at 22,000, like we talked about, 24,000, and here we are at 26,000. So here's where I'm looking at where stocks are going to go over the short term. Remember, we're talking about the short term right now. I'm not talking about investing for something that's going to pay you over time. I'm talking about the short term. What we see here is that the averages, the 7 and 30-day average, are creating support right around 26,000. So we have a down day today on the stock market, but I don't think we're going to end up falling below 26,000. Why? Because we have a lot of strong technical support for that. So what that means is that we're probably looking at things to go up over the next few days or the next few weeks. So I think we'll pop up here to about 28,000 over the next 10 to 14 days. That's a big move. So, by the way, asterisk, disclaimer, I'm an idiot on the internet who has no credentials, and I lose a lot of money buying and selling stocks. So this is for entertainment purposes only. In fact, you should probably only take what we're talking about when it comes to money as the activities of a crazy capitalist on the internet who you just like to listen to because he's entertaining and very good looking. But apart from that, he has nothing interesting to say on the topic. Don't do anything that this capitalist says. I'm going to drink to that. So what we see here is that in my interpretation is we're probably going to see things go up over the next 10 to 14 days. So with that in mind, I'm looking for short-term trades that have the potential to go up in value. So the ones that I'm looking at right now are, I'll just read them off to you. The ones that I am trading actively today are MasterCard, Visa, Facebook, T-Mobile, and I'm looking at Costco. I haven't quite analyzed Costco fully yet, but I'm looking at Costco. Let's go through two of these. So MasterCard is one that I like right now, and I will tell you why. Oh, and look, we're up. We're up even on a down day. So just like the previous chart, I am looking at this guy right here. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. So MasterCard, we've got this strong support average right here at about 300. We seem to be popping up above that. And so if the market stays up, we'll have a nice run on MasterCard with a lot of positive momentum up. So that's why I like MasterCard. I've got a target of about 320 to 340 over the next couple of weeks. The other stock that I like right now is Facebook. Now, Facebook, I am more of a long-term bullish on. Here's why. First of all, this was the bad news on Facebook of all of these advertisers pulling out, which, by the way, let me say something to the camera here. Do any of you think that advertisers are going to stay out of Facebook for very long? No. No. I would love to short the companies that are pulling out of Facebook. You mean to tell me that the greatest source of advertising in the world, you are not going to advertise on because some people are upset about who's on Facebook? Really? No. The companies that don't run advertising on Facebook are going to really suffer over the next few years, and it's going to create market opportunities for those who do. By the way, listen, from a business perspective, Facebook ads are as cheap as they are ever going to be right now. If you are not making a big splash on Facebook and Instagram ads, this is like the last frontier. It's the last window of opportunity for Facebook and Instagram ads. With all these advertisers pulling out, with the recession going on, Facebook ads are as cheap as they are going to be for probably the rest of our lives. Oh, hey, Ted. Good to see you, old friend. Hey, Mark. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, Tyler. What's up, buddy? Hey, Trenton. Hey, Gary. Hey, Sue. Hey, Sawyer. Hey, Davina. All right, let's go back into this Facebook analysis. So here, this is the Facebook chart. What's interesting to me about this is we had this big recovery from all of these businesses pulling out, and then it broke up above support and is now breaking into new highs, new record highs. So this means that there's going to be a new room for the business to expand from a market cap perspective. And so since it's breaking up above 240, which has been the normal high, that means that I am bullish on Facebook in the short and medium term. So that is my analysis. That's how I look at the short-term trades that I am going to make. The long-term trades that I make are very different than the short-term trades that I make. The long-term trades that I make are the ones that I want to pay me over time forever. So I like from a long-term perspective, the businesses or the ideas that I can do one time that will pay me forever. So this is why I write books. This is why I make videos that will exist forever. It's why I build audiences. It's why I do things that I can do in the short term one time that pay me forever. This is why I like passive income real estate. It's why I like physical product brands, because you can do something one time and it can pay you forever and ever 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 and ever. And then you can take that money and you put it into stocks and other investments. They're going to pay you forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. So that's what I like to do. And then in my short term, I like to generate cash by flipping things, specifically stocks. So once again, the ones I'm looking at are MasterCard, Visa, Facebook, T-Mobile, and Costco. I made bets on T-Mobile and Visa. How are they doing? All right, T-Mobile is up, and Facebook is up. Visa is up. MasterCard is up, which is interesting because the whole rest of the market is down. Interesting. If you're into this kind of stuff, the person that I follow on the topic is Ryan Kwasson. And he has a training inside the 1%, which is our community for capitalists. And you can go through his training in there. All right. In case you missed it, if you want to come hang out with me, click the link that is in the YouTube chat. And I will see you here in the waiting room. There were a few of you that popped in and then just disappeared. But if you have a question about business, investing, life, or aliens, we can chat about them here. That's good. So, by the way, if you haven't picked up a copy of 12 Months to 1 Million, I would really appreciate it if you've been thinking about it. I want to say thank you to you. So if you are watching this and you've been like, I haven't grabbed a copy of this, and you've been on the fence, I would really like to thank you personally. So please do it while we're here live. Please do it while we're watching and let me know in the comments so that I can thank you. I'd even like, if you want, you can come here into the room and hang out, and I will, I'll thank you one-on-one. So it really mean a lot to me if I could just thank you for buying the book. So if you do it while we are here live, please let me know in the comments, and I would just like to say thank you for that. All right, I see a couple of you popping here into the stream. So Dev, I can't see you. Zin, I can't see you either. Please turn on your cameras so that I can see you while I bring you in here. So if you can turn on your camera, that way we can interact. And you disappeared. This is the glories of being live on the internet. Tyler Atwell, what's going on, dude? Good to see you. Would love to catch up with you, dude. Hey, Colin, good to see you. Hey, Paul asks, have I ever traded Forex? No, I have not. What else is going on in the world? I find it interesting, and I want to talk about this for a second. I find it interesting that the top stories going on right now are about the government program called the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Plan. So this was a plan that was put in place to protect paychecks. It was basically a grant to businesses who would then use that money to pay their employees. And if they didn't use it to pay their employees, then they had to pay it back. But if it was used to pay employees, then they didn't have to pay the money back. Amanda, yes, we can talk baseball. Joseph, if you want to come here in the chat, I'd love to talk about Tesla being a bubble. Yes, it is. So what's interesting about this is there's no criticism over the plan itself. The criticism is just over the businesses who took the money. Well, listen, doesn't it make sense that if there's government abuse, the problem is that the program sucked? PPP was a big old marketing ploy. It was a stupid idea. Anytime the government redistributes money, there's going to be abuse, there's going to be waste, there's going to be dead people getting it like we saw. And so is the solution to punish the people who took advantage of the program, or is the solution to just stop giving the government the power to take and redistribute money? Is the solution to cut it off at its heels, to stop letting the government give money to rich people? Just stop taking it from them and stop redistributing it. Just cut off the source of the money. That's it. Mark Chrysler says, I just bought your book. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. I think you are going to love the book. He asked the question, would you recommend selling on Amazon and Shopify, or just use Shopify as an information center? This is the important thing. The important thing when you're starting a business is to have the audience, and have the audience responsive, primed, and ready to buy from you on day one. So it doesn't matter what platform you use or where you take your sales, as long as you have the audience to be able to support the product that you launch. So in this book, I talk about building email lists via social media and then launching on Amazon. That, I think, is the path of least resistance to taking your first sale. And remember, the first 4 months of starting a new business, the entire purpose, the entire goal is to take one sale. Just one. Not 50, not 100, take one sale. And the fast route to do that, in my opinion, is to build an email list, and we'll do that via social media and then launching on Amazon, because Amazon is just the easiest platform to do that. So for a new entrepreneur, that is the fast route to taking your first sale, and you can complicate things from there. But when you're starting, build an email list, use social media content to build the email list, and then launch on Amazon, because that's the fastest route that you're going to take a sale. The other option is to pre-sell things. So when you've built an email list, You start taking orders from the email list on Kickstarter or your own store, and then you fulfill the product once it's ready. And this would be assuming it's going to take a while for you to develop that product. But that's a path of least resistance to taking your first sale. Sawyer says, I'll take a copy of your book. Great. You can get it on Amazon. Just search Ryan Daniel Moran. So a question that was posted here is Tesla a bubble? So let's take a look over here at Tesla. So I'm going to punch Tesla here into by the way, the system that I use for this is it's Big Charts, bigcharts.com. It's free. So Tesla, Tesla's interesting because Tesla has had this important mark right here. For all of last month, you can see that Tesla trades in waves. It was here at 800 for 2 months. 800, 800, 800, 800, 800, 800, boom, 1,000. And then it floated around 1,000. And by the way, I shorted Tesla right here. I thought I was a genius, and I'd have lost my ass. So don't listen to anything that I say. Stuck here at 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Boom! Now it's up to 1,400. Looks like it's pulling back a little bit. We might settle here about 1,200, and it'll say 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. I don't know if it's a bubble, but it is certainly overvalued. It is absolutely overvalued. Even Elon Musk says it is overvalued. I sold my Tesla shares at 700, which now makes me look like an idiot, but I was in at 200. So I was a big proponent of Tesla stock when it was at 200. I said forever and ever and ever, it was the best car company in the world. Everybody told me I was stupid. There was too much debt. It's going to go bankrupt. Some of my best friends were like, I care about you, and you have way too much money in Tesla. And then it went right up to 700. I sold, and now it's up to 1,400. So I wish I had held on, but I don't think it's going to stay at 1,400. I just don't think it has the fundamentals to support something like that. But remember, the stock market is betting on growth, and Tesla is really the only car company that is growing. So if you're going to buy a car company, Tesla's really the only one that makes sense from a growth perspective. Now, here's the opposite. I have holdings in Ford because Ford pays a really sexy dividend, and I'm probably going to hold that Ford for a really, really long time. Ford owns the market when it comes to trucks. They own it. So since they've got I like niche businesses. I like businesses that have raving fan bases that are going to support that business for a very long time. So Ford has the corner on trucks, which means they're probably going to be somewhat profitable for years and years and years and years and years, because all they need to do is focus on trucks and their existing target market. And with that in mind, they're probably going to be able to pay their dividend for a long time. In fact, let's take a look at Ford and just see what the charts say from a technical analysis here. My guess is it's not going to look good. They've gotten beat up lately, but let's take a look here. Not as bad as I thought. So they got crushed from coronavirus. This is the coronavirus pullback from a little over $9 to $4, and they've been climbing up ever since. And the technical data here suggests that Ford, if it breaks up about above 650, could go on a run and go back to where they were in the past. In the meantime, have they paused their dividend? I'm not sure. But I like Ford from the perspective of they've got a niche market and they're going to probably serve that target market for a really long time. All right. So somebody says, can we talk baseball? I wish they had just canceled the season. And I'm doing a video today about what I would do if I was the owner of the Cleveland Indians right now. I'm doing a lot more YouTube content. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'm going to be going live here at least twice a week for the next probably 12 weeks or so to test if I like doing this on a regular basis. So please make sure you are subscribed. We're also going to be doing 1 to 2 video releases a week on topical stuff that will help you with business and investing. And I'm also going to be doing company analyses. So I did one yesterday on the company JetBlue. So what I would do if I was a CEO of JetBlue, I think airline companies have the ability to really gain some market share right now. And this is the time for them to make a pivot. Hey, Zin, you keep popping in here into the into the show, that's totally cool. But I need to see your video if you want to come on the live stream. Someone says, "What about Amazon? Is Amazon a bubble?" I don't think so. I think Amazon is actually has healthy fundamentals. I don't think they're under any threat. All right, Zen, I'm gonna bring you on. Give me a thumbs up if you're good to come on. All right, let's do this. Hello, Zen. You're muted. Take yourself off mute.
Ryan.
Hello, Zen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I've been following you for a while.
Thank you. Thank you. How can I help?
I've been trying to start an Amazon FBA. I guess not really Amazon FBA. So actually, I should just tell you a little bit about me. Graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering about 3 years ago. Then I worked in multiple different companies, and I learned a lot about business. And I found out that my passion is really to kind of like develop my own products and sell it. And I was right around the time that I was looking into Amazon FBA. And so essentially I want to combine the two and kind of have my own business.
And so you want to have the engineering business and combine it with FBA? Is that what you're saying?
I want to use that to develop physical products and use the power of Amazon FBA to kind of combine the two and create a business.
Yeah, great. So, I mean, you said that you've been trying to do this for a long time. What does that mean, and what's holding you back from actually succeeding?
So, really it's just supplier issues as of right now. I had some issues with the process of kind of the patent protections and things like that, but that's kind of taken care of as of right now. So the product is patent pending. I'm dealing with a lot of issues with my supplier. They keep delaying all the deadlines, all the plans that we kind of like set forward. They just.
Where is your supplier based?
In China.
Do you have a good rep that you have good communication with?
It's been just between me and them. I've been doing most of the communications. And at the beginning, honestly, before pandemic hit, they were really nice. They were super communicative and all that. But really, as after pandemic hit,
have you received a prototype?
Yes, I have received a prototype.
Okay, cool. So this is what I want you to do, Zen. I want you to start contacting other manufacturers and see what their communication is like, and send them, if you've got multiple prototypes, send them your prototype and say, can you do this or better? Here are my existing costs. Can you beat these costs, or can you beat them on speed? So you're in shopping mode right now when it comes to suppliers and manufacturers. You want to be looking at other opportunities. You don't have to cut off the one that you've got. Keep going there. But I always say that prioritizing communication and speed is better than prioritizing existing relationships or prioritizing the cost of that. So if you can get a supplier that moves faster and has better communication, you might find that they also compete on price. I tell the story in my book that one time my business partner, Sean, had a new yoga mat that he was playing with. And I was like, what's this? And he's like, I got a new prototype. And it was so much better than the existing one. And I said, how much more per unit is this one? And he said, oh, it's $1.25 less. I was like, what? Okay, go with this one. Absolutely. So always, your phase of business, always be shopping for new manufacturers and suppliers, and you will find a different one that communicates in a way that's better than how you're being served right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You bet. It's great to meet you. Anything else I can do for you?
And then I was wondering if you have any kind of courses that would pertain, or programs that would pertain to kind of my situation where I'm a little bit kind of into the process. Anything that would have mentorship, coaching.
Yeah, you should join the 1% if you're not already a member. It's capitalism.com/1. It's where I interact with people on a more intimate basis, and also the community opens up their Rolodex for people. In fact, somebody put in the comments that they'd be happy to help you with finding suppliers if you need some help, and that kind of stuff happens all the time in the community. So that's the 1%, capitalism.com/1. It's also the cheapest thing I do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No problem. All right. Thank you.
Great to meet you. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Same.
Colin says, Ryan, can you give me a link to join? It's on YouTube, but we're about to wrap, so we'll have to get to you in another day here, Colin. One more question that I wanted to hit before we wrap today. Zach asked, just found your channel yesterday. Thanks for finding me, Zach. Besides your channel, what else would you recommend for buying a business for a beginner? So there's two people that I really like on this. One is Carl Allen. He's been on the podcast. So if you search my name, Ryan Daniel Moran, and Carl Allen, we did a really great podcast together. But Carl is currently on sabbatical. So he's taken about 6 months off where he's had some financial wins and he is just not going to work for a while, which is awesome, which is exactly what he should do right now when you've been as successful as he has been. The other option, the person that I follow really closely, is based here in Austin. He's my friend Shaquille Prosla. He's been on the podcast, I think, 3 or 4 times. And also, he has a full-on training inside the 1%. So if you join the community at capitalism.com/1, Shaquille has a full training in there about how he looks for businesses, finds the best opportunities, finances them, and buys them, and has this holding company of different businesses that are profitable. And that's his empire. That's how he is a capitalist. All right, my friends, thank you for hanging out with me today on Capitalism and Coffee. I will be going live here every Tuesday for the next 12 weeks or so. And I'm going to be working in Thursdays as well. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have notifications turned on, because we'll be doing this on a regular basis. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys. I'll be live again on Thursday. So for those of you who are going to be joining me, I will see you Thursday. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.